Let's speak now to SABC News specialist reporter Hasina Gori, who is speaking to people at the pumps. Now, Hasina, one of the things that is going to be felt as a ripple effect here is not only for the people behind you who are filling up their cars, but also Santaco now possibly having to consider some taxi fare hikes.
Good evening. Yes, as you mentioned, this is going to have quite a ripple effect on not just the motorists who are steadily streaming into this specific petrol station ahead of that price hike, a historic one, because we're going to see for the first time in inland cities people paying more than 21 rand for a litre of octave 95, as well as just over 20 rand for those on the coast. But as you mentioned, for those that rely on public transport, many of them going to feel that pinch, maybe as the taxi drivers as well as owners pull up prices as the price hike continues. But I want to bring in some of the motorists who have been here filling up to just get a sense from them. How are they feeling here? Good evening. Can you tell us how are you feeling this evening, as the price hike's going up? You're here to fill up as well. What's your views?
Really and truly, I just feel speechless. As we think things are getting better, it just seems to get worse. And I feel like South Africa is failing us, and hopefully things will get better.
Are you going to feel the pinch? Do you feel that this is going to add an extra burden on you?
I felt the pinch and I'm still feeling it.
As many have mentioned, as well as the Automobile Association, saying that this price hike is going to really hit every South African, as we're going to see prices escalate continuously on other different elements and utilities. But I'm bringing more drivers. How are you feeling, being here, filling up tonight?
Well, there's nothing we can do, honestly, but what we should raise is the fact that these fuel hikes are killing us. These fuel hikes are depriving people from investing in our economy. These fuel hikes are killing the working class because there is a multiplier effect. So food is going to go high, goods are going to be much more expensive, and that is very detrimental. But we are just here to fill up our tanks before the fuel prices increase.
As someone who, is working, and you're back at the office maybe after 1.5 years of being at home, how are you feeling with the pinch? Do you feel that this was the right time for such a price hike?
No, I don't entirely think that this was wise, at least from the government's point of view, because we are now at a point where we have to immensely contribute to the economy. We have to work towards building it. But if you are going to impose these fee hikes on us, then we might as well encourage our establishments to tell us to work from home once more, because we cannot honestly survive. And if you look at the fact that our salaries are still stagnant, government has not increased them, then there's no rationale, obviously, for increasing fuel prices.
Thank you so much. That was one of the motorists here at this petrol station, filling up. Quite the sentiment there, saying many have returned to the office after maybe working from home for 1.5 years. And now for the first time, there's this price hike that's going over 20 rand. And I want to see if we can try and get more motorists that may want to speak to us here to give us a sense of how they're feeling, as these prices continue to loom. Many South Africans here reliant on the public transport sector. Thank you so much for speaking to us. How are you feeling, waiting in line here to fill up your petrol ahead of that price hike?
Hey, I feel very disappointed because petrol has been increasing. It's almost every 2 months now. So we have to now fill up with money that we never planned to have. So it's not a good thing, and the increment is very, it's a lot of money.
Were you someone who worked from home during the lockdown, and have you returned to the office?
I have returned to the office, so now it's going to be more expensive. So that's where my issue begins, because even from now, at this moment, I'm from work. So it's going to be a lot of money. We need to relook my budget now.
Thank you so much. Another motorist speaking to us here. Many have been working from home as well. An extra budget that they have not really planned for, that they're looking now to stretch out that rand. But this is a sentiment here. We're hoping that when we speak to you once again, we have with us either the Taxi Association or the Metered Taxi Association to give us from a public transport sentiment how they're feeling. But for now, back to you in studio.
All right, that's Hasina Gori there, just giving us a sense of how some of those motorists are really going to be battling, going forward with this record high increase when it comes to fuel prices. Of course, a lot of people are returning to work after working, from home for quite some time. So really quite a lot of disappointment there from motorists. But we'll be speaking to Hasina throughout the course of the show as we're speaking to various motorists who are rushing to fill up.